All right, here is another another video on comparing decimal values, and this is just asking which number has the least value, or what is the smallest number, right? So we have to go and look at all these numbers and figure out what is the smallest number. Now, basically, what you want to do is look at the numbers from the biggest place value to the smallest. So we have 87.4, or 87 and 4 tenths, 7 and 48 hundredths, 8 and 74 hundredths, or 4 and 78 hundredths. So I can tell you right now, uh, first of all, this one is the greatest because it's 87, right? 87 is bigger than 7, 8, and 4, obviously. And the least is 4. 4 and 78 hundredths. We know that's the least because in the ones column, that's the lowest. We don't even have to look at anything that is after the decimal because the 4 is already lower than 87, 7, and 8. So, yeah, the answer for the first one would be D. Now, for this one, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing on these. Now, what I would do, okay, is typically I would line these up, right? Line up each of these by the decimal, and then, okay, so 5 and 61 hundredths. I apologize for my handwriting here. 16.5, or 16 and 5 tenths, but I would add a 0, okay, so that they all have the same. Okay. And then line up this 56.1 and then 51.6. So the easiest way to compare decimals, really, the value of them, is to line up the decimal, okay? So the decimal is all the same here. And then you just want to add, if you need to, add zeros at the end of the decimal, okay? To make it so they all have the same amount of digits to the right of the decimal. And then you can just look over here. You don't even need to go past the decimal for these ones. It's, okay, which number is smallest? And then 5, 16, 56, or 51. And the answer, obviously, is going to be A. Now, it looks like none of these you actually have to go to the decimal, right? Because it would be like, if you were to take the decimals out, let's look at number 3. If you were to just take the decimals out of these, it would be basically the same thing because the decimals are lined up and there's an equal number of digits after the decimal place. So if you were to take the decimals out, it would be a similar value, like 143, 431, 341, or 314. And which one is the biggest? Or the smallest, I mean? Obviously 143, or 1 and 43 hundredths. So really, when you're comparing numbers, you're going to you should just go to the biggest place value that there is. In this case, it's the ones, In this case, it would be the tens in number 4. So it's 27.3, 32.7. Obviously, those are larger than 7.32 or 3.72, right? So the smallest would just be D because 3 is smaller than these ones. You don't even have to look at the decimals in after the decimal place because in the ones column, whichever number is smallest before the decimal, then that's going to be the smallest number.